Hello, guys. Welcome back to Finland Uncovered. And today we have Lidiia with us to share her story of getting a Finnish passport. And a lot of us want to get it. So let's go with her. Hello, Lidiia. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. Very happy to be here with you.
Thank you so much for accepting this request to be in the podcast episode.
It's usually me who asks questions from people, and I barely speak, so I'm happy about this opportunity to talk to you.
Yeah. So the first thing, so shall we go a bit about your background information? Like when was the first time you were in Finland and why
Mm-hmm.
Finland? Some basic information.
Yeah, so I actually came to Finland 6 years ago, and I came to Finland from Moscow, where I lived for 10 years before. And I got my degrees from Moscow, and I moved to Finland because I fell in love with a very handsome blonde guy.
Mm, okay. So it's been 6 years. So do you think Finland is same before and now in terms of many things? Especially, I came 5 years ago and I felt like people aren't speaking too much of English. But when we see now, I see English everywhere. So do you have some differences that you saw earlier and now?
6 years now, you're asking. It's not such a big change, but I talk to people who are here for 15 years, and these people are telling me that it's been really, really different before. People would stare at them if they would speak English at a bus stop. And nowadays, like it's a no surprise. Everyone speaks English in Finland.
Yeah, exactly. But also a bit about your Finnish learning skills. So where did it all started?
So I told you that I came here because of my Finnish husband, and we got married in Finland. And I went back to Russia, and I was still wrapping up all the things there. And I already knew I would move to Finland, so I started having private lessons. I found a person online. He was a polyglot, like a polyglot, the one who speaks many, many languages.
Okay.
So this guy was speaking 11 languages. And back then I thought it's a plus. Now I understand it's a minus because one day we were having a lesson at home and my husband overheard the lesson. And when it was over, he told me, "Well, this is not Finnish you are studying. Please just stop these lessons completely." And like I was so confused. And of course, I listened to him. And after that, I found a Finnish language teacher who is a bilingual, both in Russian and in Finnish. And she was just amazing. Ayla, if you're hearing this, greetings to you. But I didn't have a chance to study with her for long because I got accepted into the integration program. It's a program in Finland where you can learn the language very intensively and learn about the working culture in Finland as well. So I've been studying for 1 year, 5 to 7 hours a day. And I have this background of being an excellent student, so I put everything in studying Finnish. That's how it started.
Okay. Also, when was your integration period? And um, at least what I saw is integration period is like 1.5 year of studying Finnish language, and then maybe going to ammattikoulu, and then like looking for a job. So because you have been there, so can you tell about the process maybe for new international people who want to go with integration? Also, is it for everybody or just like spouses?
Many questions. I will try to cover them. First of all, I need to emphasize that I came 6 years ago in April and I started my integration in August that year. So now I talk to some people and it seems it changed already. Back then, it was only for 1 year and we were studying in modules. The first module, half a year, I took it at Kareria in Herttoniemi here in Helsinki, and the second part I did in Galimatias. Those two schools still exist to this day. And people who were with me at the class, they mainly came here for their spouses. There was someone with a refugee status as well. But if you are thinking about visa types, there are not so many options. You either come here to work, so you will go to work and you have a contract, so you don't need the language, and your spouse can come to the language courses. Another option is you are a student, you are coming to Finland as a student. So these people also don't have because it's a TE-toimisto program, and it's supported and paid through Finnish taxes. We need to understand that this part as well. So students are also not eligible for this type of support. And before that, it was for visa A type residents only. Right now, like with everything with TE-toimisto, I know it's a question of an officer that you get and a question of persuasion, because they give you 3 years to adapt in Finland. And after 3 years, it's considered that you are not applicable anymore. But I know people who did it even after 3 years, people who have B status visa. If they are saying no to you, might be that another officer has another type of knowledge and would approve you to join the integration courses. And for everyone to be very clear about that, Finland wants people to work here. So it's even, the name is called integration program. It's for you to study Finnish as fast as possible and to start working as fast as possible. That's why it's not only about language. There is also a part that's called työelämä. It means working life in Finland, and they are supposed to help you move from being unemployed here to being either a student or to get a job. And in that sense, it's not only to apply for ammattikoulu, which is also, some people go there, and I understand it's a fine way. It's all about your goals in Finland as well, because my group, the one where I studied first, it was called nopea ryhmä. It was for students who have a degree. And most of us had years of experience at home. So there was a teacher, there were teachers, doctor, a nurse, engineer, whatever, psychologist, you just name it. So all of us wanted to pursue a career in Finland. So not many went to study. Usually that's how it goes. If you don't have enough experience from your home country, or if you don't have a degree, then you go to study, or your degree is not so valuable here, and then you go to study. This is the process and how it looks. And I can bring a funny thing for you if you would like to know. Yes. One thing that was shocking to all of us in this group, that the agenda there was to send us to be, for ladies, they really pushed super hard to go to study lähihoitaja. It is a practical nurse.
Okay.
You know, right?
Yeah.
And this type of a person, I have a lot of respect for this job, because it's very hard physically and emotionally. And I have friends who work in this area, and I know what I'm talking about. It's taking care, for example, of older people, or working in a kindergarten. It's the same path. And for guys, they were pushing a bit of construction work here in Finland. And I understand it from the government's perspective, right?
Yeah,
That's
they need people, especially in those
areas. Exactly. They need people. And I think, like, looking back, I think it was the right thing to do, because imagine we are getting paid to study. It's a whole year. I cannot even think how much it costs, tens of thousands of euros for one person. And of course, they want to compensate for the areas where they have a lack of shortage of workers. But back then, we were very frustrated, We were people who came with like so much experience, and that's why we felt like, why are you pushing so hard this agenda on us? So what we needed to do is smile and nod and keep like bringing up our personal career goals.
Yeah, but still, like, do they kind of force us to do like only these roles, or do they give us freedom to pick? Let's say, I mean, I just go and say I'm not interested in construction, I'm interested in business studies or information technology. So, will they accept it or?
Yes, they will accept it, and
Okay.
they will help you to choose a place to study. At least they need to. A good työelämä
Mm,
opettaja or teacher of working life has the knowledge of institutions and how to apply and when to apply. For example, not everyone knows, at least back then, there was a possibility to spend 1 more year, pre-studies, so you would learn Finnish language. I don't remember how this program is called. And then after 1 year, you would go to this study place to study IT in Finnish, for example.
yeah.
So these are the nuances you don't know when you come here as a foreigner. And this is a place where you can ask those questions.
Okay, this is some really nice information. But also, did you feel like a lot of people? I mean, I know it's kind of bad to ask. Like, when they're paying, there could be people who want to misuse the program. Instead of studying, they just want to attend because of getting paid. So, have you noticed that kind of people in the classroom, or is it just like a lot of enthusiastic people to learn Finnish?
It's a little bit of a masochism if you go just for the money, because it's not easy. It's very hard. Even sitting there for 5 hours and listening to
That's
someone teaching Finnish to you while you don't want to learn it, I think it is very painful.
Yeah,
So I didn't see a single person who was there just to get the money. It's not a lot of money. You cannot live yourself off this amount. You need a partner to cover everything else. So it was maybe 900 a month minus taxes. So you would get 700 after paying all the taxes. And with this money, back then you couldn't live. And now it's even worse with the inflation.
yeah, just like a studio costing somewhere around 800 euros. So
Mm,
it's kind of hard nowadays,
yeah,
especially in Helsinki, Vantaa, and Espoo.
yeah, I know. I know how it is now.
Also, did you try applying for a job before going to integration? Because I just wanted to ask, like, is
Yeah,
a drastic difference between before learning Finnish and after learning Finnish?
yeah.
There will be, but in what way?
My story is quite interesting and not unique at all, because back home I was working for an IT giant, worldwide known, and I had a good career as a marketing manager. So while moving to Finland, I thought that it will be so easy to find a job. Like, I thought maybe it will take 2 months, okay, max 3 months, so long. Because at home, I would, like, for example, send 10 applications and I would get 4 interviews and 2 offers at least.
I
And in Finland, yeah, in Finland, it was so different. And the worst part was my ego. So I thought I'm so great, but the reality was like there are so many great people in Finland and you are not competitive enough here. And I did find a job after the integration courses immediately. I was interviewing when I was studying, and when I finished, I just went to work also in IT and also in my own area of expertise. And now I'm also helping people to get a job in Finland faster because I know the skills that I've been missing, and I know what recruiters want you to have. So this is a very, very interesting topic for me.
Yeah. Also, in terms of integration, do they teach also culture related stuff in the integration period? Let's say, when we are new to Finland, we don't really know how to behave as per Finland. So do you
Mm.
have to teach this as well, or just only language?
They do teach the cultural aspect as well. For example, the first thing they told us when we came to the course is that in Finland, a woman is a free person. So if in a family, even marrying to a husband, she doesn't want intimacy with him, she can say no. And no one can force her to do anything. If someone does, a husband does, then you can go to a police and you can get help. So there are countries where culturally a woman is half of a man. And this is immediately the first thing they told us when we came here. I was like so surprised to hear that. I thought, why do you even bring this up? But apparently, many people were like, okay, wow, like that. And working culture and working life, it's also something that they bring up, and I think it is very important to learn as much as you can. Though cultural aspects are a lot like you would need to feel it, like you do something wrong, and in my country a person would come to me, look me in the eyes and say, could you not put paper here? This is the place where we put paper. And in Finland, in most of the cases, no one comes to talk to you like that. There will be a huge paper the next day where you were saying, we do not put paper in this area, we put paper there, like passive aggressive kind of a message. And because direct confrontation is something that's avoided here a lot.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know. You can study a lot and you can try to adapt, but quite often you will need to face this reality and learn from those things.
Yeah, one thing I noticed was like one person driving a car and he did some accident. And in general, if it is in India, there would be a lot of scene happening over there. But here, the guy like in front just came out and said, it's okay, let's call insurance and police and they'll decide." I mean, I was like, no, that's not how it should work. There should be some more stuff happening, but
Shouting and
yeah.
like discussing and a lot of
Yeah,
people
like
around.
arguing, it's not my mistake, it's your mistake, and there's nothing involved. They're like just let's call insurance and police, and
Mm,
both sit in the car, and that's how it's solved. It's
yeah.
so easy. Maybe that's why Finnish people are so happy. Yeah, Finland is the happiest country.
Yeah, the level of anger here. I know, like, I've been to India 3 times, so I know also your culture a little bit. But if you compare to Russia, I just had a talk with a person who moved to Germany. The level of anger is much lower in Finland. Russia, you leave and subconsciously you're getting ready to be fucked up. And and you leave and there is at the road there will be anger, outside there will be anger, even though people are in general like friendly. And in Finland for the first year I was like looking out for situations where someone can cheat and like someone would mess up with me and it wouldn't happen. And my husband would keep saying, you're not in Russia, you can rest, you can rest. And it took me 1 year to finally rest.
Yeah,
It's subconscious. You cannot like, even a bag you need to keep at yourself, like close to your body, because it can be stolen in many countries, but not in Finland. You forget to worry here.
yeah,
Even though there are other problems like Finnish problems, but yeah.
yeah. The only main problem is bikes. Other than bikes, I never noticed like something getting stolen.
Mm.
That's kind of cultural thing. Maybe in most of the European countries,
Mm.
bikes are missing rapidly in almost every country. So that's not new for Finland.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, how like so was it your goal to get a Finnish citizenship, or did you just give it a try and test your luck? How was the process and how was the idea?
I will start with a funny story. When I got we agreed to marry, like he proposed, and I said yes, he's my husband. Our families, both on our sides, didn't take it so easy. On his side, like, by the way, my in-laws are awesome. Like, I love them a lot, but they didn't know me before. And at work, my mother-in-law was warned by everyone else that Russians come here for money and citizenship. And I moved to Finland and I asked, where is my money and where is citizenship? I made a joke, of course, because I didn't move here neither for that or for the second one. Though over years of living here, my son was born, and he is a Finnish citizen, and my husband is a Finnish citizen. And the war started in Ukraine, and I knew that I want to live my whole life here. That's how the decision came to apply for the citizenship. I had a permanent visa already, but I still decided to apply and get it just because it's much safer for me. I feel safer now.
Yeah, I know that feeling of like constant renewals and just like going to policy and applying for a passport is much more simple than going to immigration and like providing proof of funds, 6 months pay slips, 6 months account statements. So, but you will be posting a lot of content about getting Finnish citizenship and stuff. So, did you see any hate from people, like, why you are spreading, or like, why you're sharing information about getting a Finnish citizenship?
No, actually not a single one. On social media, there is hate, and there will always be hate.
Yeah.
Whatever topic you publish, there will be someone who doesn't agree with what you say. And of course, in real life, they would never say that to you, like face to face. But online, it's so easy to write some nasty things.
Yeah.
And I usually just block people like that. Maybe it's a bad day, but I don't care. I don't have time and energy to deal with bad messages.
Yeah.
So I actually got bullied when I posted content about looking for a job in Finland because my name is Finnish. I look Finnish. So people thought I'm a Finn talking about looking for a job in Finland. And people were writing to me that I have no right. How can I even talk about things I don't understand? I've never been in a situation like that. They, of course, didn't know.
Yeah.
And so that happens. I tell you, like, there will always be some negative reaction if you do something in life. You get nothing if you don't do anything.
Yeah, that's a success factor when we get some kind of negativity
Yeah.
in a way. Also, I mean, it's kind of strange that it doesn't guarantee you to get a job if you are a Finn. Like, I don't know how they taught, but it's just simple thing. Lot of Finnish people are also unemployed.
Yes, that's true. It's easier. Of course, it is easier. We shouldn't say that it's the difficulty is the same. Because I'm usually working with highly educated professionals, and it's a situation when you might never get enough Finnish to work in this area in Finnish. So people are looking for jobs in English, and that's why the competitiveness of the market is just crazy. If people come here without a degree or many years of work experience, they usually go to study. And then they just land a job with B2 Finnish, and they improve the language there. So that is the difference between these two areas.
Okay. So also, do you use English in your work, or are you started using only Finnish?
I'm using English in my work.
Okay. So it's like, where are the places you use Finnish most?
Every day, when I go to a kindergarten, where my son goes, I speak Finnish only. When I go, like, I communicate freely in Finnish, and my friends are Finnish as well. So I always like talk to them in Finnish.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you think like having Finnish friends will help us to improve our language because the Finnish what we study is different from Finnish what they speak. So,
Yes, everything will help.
mm,
Friends, TV, reading, everything will help. Of course, if you have no one to speak to, it's harder to learn the language. But even in my case, I had the whole family to practice Finnish with. Yet it took many years until I knew Finnish, but still it took some years until I could easily answer in Finnish and understand everything. There was some line before and after, because at first they would say something to me and I wouldn't understand everything, and then something changed, and then I could get the message, and I don't even think while answering.
yeah. Also, I guess, like, do you feel sad that it is changing to English, or like, are you happy that it is changing to English? Because like it's different when you don't know the language, and it's different when you know the language. So now, how do you feel? Like, do you feel, oh no, it's like I studied Finnish and now they started using English, or how's your reaction in day to day when you hear a lot of English?
It's not such an easy question. I know everyone speaks English in Finland, yet if you don't speak Finnish, if there is a Finnish speaking group, they will always switch to Finnish, and
Mm,
you will be left out. You will feel like an idiot.
yeah.
If your whole life you spend here just talking to foreigners, that might be fine. You might even feel like at home. Some people will do. But somehow it gave me, like, suddenly started feeling like I'm at home when I started understanding people. I couldn't yet answer so well, but I already felt like I am at home and I don't feel like I'm missing out. I can watch a movie in the cinema and I don't think what the language, English or Finnish, it doesn't matter. So it somehow changed a lot on a subconscious level. And there are still, like, you can get more jobs if you speak Finnish.
Yeah, that's the biggest advantage I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, do you watch a lot of Finnish movies?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Maybe some
I
of.
wish I would. I wish I would maybe. Um, Most of my Finnish practice was speaking now, and sometimes I think, yeah, it would be nice to watch Finnish, but I work so much, and I feel like if I want to rest, I want to rest. And if I want to rest, then I would watch Netflix.
Yeah, I get what you mean. So also for people who want to learn, there is this like slow news kind of thing happening. While
Mm.
studying, did you ever use that, used to listen to that slow news?
Yes, easy Finnish. It's
Yeah.
selkokielellä.
Mm.
Uutiset selkokielellä. Yes, at the beginning a lot. We were watching news a lot from there, and I was reading books as well. Now I'm thinking of starting reading books again, and maybe I start from Easy Finnish as well,
Hmm.
not to feel overwhelmed at the beginning.
Yeah.
So it is very, very helpful. I didn't know, like, I don't think this concept exists in other languages, or maybe it does. Simple English is the thing, right?
Maybe
Wikipedia, you can read it in simple,
simple format,
simple form. So it is a very, very good tool in case you learn Finnish. I would definitely recommend it. It helps. It does help. Not immediately, but if you do
In
it
the
every
long
day for a year.
yeah. Yeah, definitely. So also you created this program called Yukipass. Can you share some information about that? What it is all about?
So after studying Finnish for a year, I went to pass the Yuki test, and I passed it in the first attempt, and I got 3344 after studying Finnish for a year. And there was a friend of mine, his name is Tarek Mahmoud, he's from Bangladesh, and he also passed UKI test very quickly. He's been like, in and out studying it at the university, but you know how university courses are. It's very like,
Yeah.
it's very easy, like relaxed. And then what he did was booked a time for the UKI test and just for 1 month studied non-stop. He didn't leave his place. He just studied and passed it in the first attempt as well. And we were having working on other projects when Tarek actually told me that, there are so many people who think that UKI is so difficult to pass, but it is not. Why don't we create a book that would help them to overcome this like difficulty challenge and to help them prepare for the test in a way that they pass it? That's how the idea came, and we thought of starting with we thought about a physical book actually. But then while writing it, two of us, we realized that it is so many things are changing. We already updated it like 3-5 times after writing it. So we decided to leave it as an ebook. And we've made it as a step-by-step guide to passing the UKI test. And we are not Finnish language teachers, so we didn't want to take their place and give tasks for the UKI. Instead, what we did, we explained what to prepare for. It's like being with a friend, it uses very easy English, understandable English. We are talking like motivationally that you wouldn't be afraid to go. And UKI is like with any other language test like IELTS and TOEFL, it is just a test.
Yeah.
So if you know the structure of it, then you will most likely pass. Even with A2 level, some people like prepare for the UKI specifically and pass it after. So we also, for this project, we interviewed many language learners who passed the test and some teachers who prepare people for the test, asking like what to pay attention to, what would they advise, and things like that. So we put it all together. An English book is free to download at ukipass.fi. We also translated it in Russian and Spanish, but the Russian and Spanish versions can be
Yeah.
purchased for 10
This is
euros.
what I want to ask. Like, why is the English version free and why are the other versions have paid? Is there any particular reason or?
First of all, we wanted it to be available to everyone, the English version, but you also can think how much time and effort it took us to write that. It's immense amount of hours. It feels very easy, but then I would recommend people to try to write an ebook if it feels very easy. And there was also work of translators, editors, and proofreaders for English as well, but mainly for Russian and Spanish versions. That's why they're paid.
Yeah, I got what you said because Spanish, I mean, if at least if it is English, it's like you can just ask a English speaking friend and you can get it sorted easily. But yeah, it's worth to buy it because I checked the English version of the book and it does have a lot of information and people can actually use it as a reference for starting.
Yeah, yes, I can. I would even suggest to use that first, and then you can, it's not so long, it's like 80 pages, just go through the book step by step because it has answers to all the questions. There are Facebook groups around UKI and people ask so many questions there, but if you just read this step-by-step guide carefully, you will get answers to 95% of all your questions.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so it's like there is this thing called opeton.fi, I guess, if I remember the name correctly. And what they do is we need to pay some amount per month, I guess, and they'll provide a Finnish speaking partner, like with whom we can just have a conversation with and just improve the Finnish skills. So, do you think that kind of service gonna help to pass UKI or? it is just for using Finnish day-to-day life?
I haven't checked it myself. It's in my task list actually,
Oh, okay.
because I see it in many different places. What I can already like intuitively understand that they used OpenAI code to just like ChatGPT. You can talk to ChatGPT as well, right?
Yeah.
So that's what they did. And I think it also like corrects your mistakes, which is also an AI function. It's not so difficult to code it this way. So I would say start with ChatGPT, try to have a conversation with ChatGPT. If you like it, then you can check out the app. Not everyone is comfortable with this way of studying, but if you do, please go check. We also need to have in mind that ChatGPT in particular and other AI tools, they make mistakes. They make some factual mistakes. And maybe for Finnish language learning, it's not a critical problem, but just keep that in mind as well. I have tried Duolingo before because some people use Duolingo and it felt really weird.
Yeah, I
Like
personally don't like it to study in Duolingo.
it felt like I wouldn't be able to use that to study
It's
Finnish.
too generic.
Yeah,
Mm.
right. So I would say to answer your question, you should use whatever is available to you at hand. Use everything you can.
Yeah.
Whatever feels comfortable and natural to you.
Yeah, it's just a free way to get a free trial by checking with
Yeah.
ChatGPT and then maybe using some kind of similar service.
Yes, right.
Yeah. So also, how was the process of getting passport, or like what did you do exactly? So now you received
Yeah.
a postal letter saying that you got 3.3 and 4.4 in UK. So what was the next thing that you did? Did you went to enter Finland.fi immediately, or?
Mm. So basically, Finland has a rule that you need to live for a certain amount of years in Finland before you can apply for citizenship. And it was 4 and 5 years before.
And
And
now
now
it's 8 years, I guess.
it will be 8 years. And so I didn't do anything after receiving the UKI. I just went to work and I was happily working because it was still far away. I was only living for 1 year. When 4 years passed, I actually applied for my citizenship. And back then they asked, like it's been 6 years ago, you need to understand that. Back then they asked like basic information about me. I attached my work contract as well, UKI, and my travel plan, if I remember correctly. So it means that they want to calculate for exact years that you are not like, for example, half a year in some other country. So it should be 4 years in total. Then the waiting started. And they give you a number to follow. At Enter Finland, there is a chat bot where you could, yes, Kamu, where you can put the number and then ask what is my queue number. And and then this number, like queue number, is getting smaller and smaller. And then one day they will process that. And in my case, I thought I would receive it fast, because I had all the requirements there. Because I received also a permanent residence permit in 1 hour, which was very fast.
In 1 hour?
Yes, I did.
Oh, like how was it? Like,
Yeah, I applied and I picked a date to visit. I think Migri was or police station. I don't Migri, I think.
yeah, migraine.
Yeah, does that. And I went with my son. And 4 years I was, of course, like speaking Finnish already. And my son was flirting with an officer. He was so small and he was so like, he liked her so much. And he was smiling and saying something. So she was so happy. And we left the building. And before we reached home, I received a message that it's done.
Damn, that's too fast.
Yeah. It was incredible. I don't know what maybe she was very happy. I don't know if she even influences that, maybe not.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
I don't know. And so that's why I expected the citizenship thing was to be faster, but it took me almost 2 years.
2 years?
Yes, I was checking it and checking. I even have a log of like checking it, and the number was I
Screenshotting
had
your queue?
yes 6,000 plus, and then like 5,000, 4,000, 3,000, 2,000, and at some certain point, like I even like already I was I was feeling so weird because
Yeah, a lot
there
of
are people who get
applications.
it. I did this like survey between people I know, and it's a lottery. You
Mm,
never know how fast you will get, and there is no explanation. I thought it's my nationality, but not. People with my nationality, some get it very quickly.
okay.
It's just a lottery chance. It was not so important because I want to live my whole life in Finland. What is the point? I would even get it in 8 years. There
Mm,
is not a big difference from that point of view. So one Monday morning, I woke up and I received a message that it's now in the process, the paper, and I was like, oh, the whole week I couldn't like quite focus or sleep well. On Tuesday, they asked to send more papers.
like,
Uh,
what exactly?
yes, a scan of a passport of all the pages that have information. The second thing is a traveling plan between those years. So after I applied.
Mm,
The third thing is because I applied with a permanent contract and I left the company during this application, and I opened Toiminimi in this period of time. So they asked for a balance sheet from my bank,
mm,
and also I was receiving and I'm receiving a startup grant. So
okay.
they asked for a startup grant decision as well.
Okay.
And I've sent all these documents to them on Tuesday, and on Thursday in the morning they said I got it.
Okay. How was your feeling then? Are you like happy?
I was incredibly happy because there was so much like I was
2 years
so
of wait is now not really
yeah.
easy. I can relate like how
Yeah.
many times you have been going to website and putting your diary number
Mm,
status.
I
So
was just I was to the moon and back happy. I immediately applied for a passport because a decision is not a passport.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
We
And
had
question is that so after that you went to policy and so you paid maybe 100 euros to get both ID card and passport and
I only got a passport because I have a driving license.
oh okay.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
then I like did the police thing
Yeah.
and got the physical passport. I already traveled with that the first time.
Yeah, like I saw
Mm.
your Instagram story you sharing about your travel with your Finnish passport for the first time. How did
Yeah.
you feel?
Um, in Europe,
Mm,
there is no border.
yeah.
So before also no one was checking my papers. So
Yeah.
there was no difference. But if you fly like to some other countries and come back, then there is a different line for you.
Yeah, it's like automated missions, so that's kind of
Yeah.
complex too.
Right. I'm flying to London now in July, and before I would need a visa,
Yeah.
which is like money, time, and everything. And now I don't need anything. I
Just
just can
getting
fly.
passport. I guess you can already travel to 193 countries, I guess.
Yeah, and with Russian passport to other countries as well. I have
So
two
195.
passports. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I can travel to most of the countries in the world now, visa free.
Yeah. That's a nice feeling to travel without any extra document, just passport and everywhere.
Yes, yeah.
Mm. So, like coming back to your PR, like I mean, this was the first time I'm listening. Like got you said you got it in 1 hour. Like, did your friends felt surprised or because I never had somebody getting a PR in 1 hour. So it's like really,
I
really.
don't know. I was like, what? I thought my boy was charming her. Maybe that was the reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you should like proud of him for making your work easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So also culturally, raising a kid could be different in Russia and in Finland. Did you have any differences in this way?
I didn't have experience raising a kid in Russia,
But like,
but I can already say that I feel that it's much, much, much easier in Finland. First of all, no one is coming you with advice. You will never hear you're not doing this right or that right or wrong, which is a big difference, you know. The second thing is kindergartens in Finland are just awesome. In Russia, when the kid is born, you need to take a queue number to wait, and it might be that you don't get a place for 3 years in a kindergarten. So you can like imagine the difference. Third thing is our kindergarten now is located next to the forest, and there is so much like they're going out there for walks. It's a place where I would want to be. Today I dropped him off and I thought, should I just stay here and like just enjoy this beautiful, beautiful place? And everything is so relaxed and easy. And in Russia, they always make you do something. Like a kid needs to bring some kind of a paper tower or a card, and parents are sitting and doing these
Yeah,
things
it's same in India as well.
for kids. And I don't like those things. And like here, no one asks for anything.
Yeah. When I was child, I still remember, like, suddenly I remember at 10 p.m. that I need to do something for tomorrow, and I used to ask my parents, I need this right now.
Mm,
Yeah,
this
that's
is the biggest difference. Yeah,
and of course.
exactly.
Do they also serve meals in kindergarten or?
Yes, they do hot meals.
Okay.
And it's very affordable in comparison to many other countries.
If I can
It's
ask, how much do you pay
it's
for it?
max 300 euros. They have a household of 5. They have 3 kids. So that's why the price is reduced.
Yeah, okay. Also, I heard that it dependent on your salary. So if your salary
Yeah.
is low,
Yeah.
it's cheaper, right?
Yeah. My husband is a full stack developer, so it's not applicable to us.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Like rich privilege in a bad way.
I mean, we still don't pay the full price because the family is big.
Okay, okay. Oh, okay. I didn't know this. So if the family size is big, so we pay the less price.
Yeah,
Okay.
you get a discount.
How is the process? So does the government reimburse the cost or?
You know that for a kid to be in a kindergarten, it costs the government around 1,000 plus euros a month.
Okay.
Everything else, it's written on a paper that you receive, an invoice. It's good to remember and remind ourselves when someone is complaining how high the payment is. I'm like always thinking, oh God, you can pay the full price and then you would go crazy.
Yeah.
So the government is us, we pay taxes and the taxes cover the kindergarten cost. And for kids, for example, at school, it costs 10,000 euros per one kid to educate them at school. And this money also comes from taxpayers.
Okay. Also, do they receive some kind of child benefit from Kela every month or?
Yes, they do. It's around 100 euros and a little bit more for the second kid and a little bit more for the third kid.
Okay, so it keeps increasing, right?
Yeah, if you have more kids, but it's not like 110, 120, or something like that amount.
Oh, okay. It's not like big amount of money.
No.
Okay. So also, like in general, what's something you think Finland could do better? Let's say not just climate things, but something that we can work together to fix it.
Every time I bring that up, I get so much hatred.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like you have no right as a foreigner to complain or mention anything that doesn't work right in Finland. And I think like people say, well, I pay taxes here, so I have the voice as well.
Yeah.
But many people get very angry and frustrated when they hear that, even though between themselves they agree that some of the things need to be improved. On a personal level, I think something should be fixed in a working environment. Finland is paying so much in educating foreign students to come to Finland, and Finland cannot keep the students. Many leave after studying, and it feels like a weird thing to do from a government perspective. Like, why do you like there is a tuition fee for some of the universities, but
they pay 10,000 euros every year, and for masters they pay around 20,000 euros every year.
so before that it was not even like that. And I think this 10,000 might not even cover all the costs associated with you studying in Finland, because I told you that, like, statistically it takes 10,000 for a school kid per year to study. It might be 15,000 for a bachelor's degree student, to consider all the facilities and teachers and everything. So it is a lot of money, and people come and they leave after that.
Yeah.
I mean, it costs so much more in many other countries, but in Finland, it's like a sponsorship for other countries, I feel like. And something like I'm processing that quite a lot. There should be conditions for students to get a job, and to keep students Finland educates.
Yeah.
If
Also,
Finland wants to keep inviting students.
yeah, also this thing, I mean, I would say it's a good thing with Finland because at least like in some other EU countries, they want you to work in the same industry that you're.
Area,
Yeah, but here we can work basically anywhere after.
anywhere.
So that's kind of flexibility that we're gonna have as international students. But
Yes, I love it. I love that part a lot. That, many IT specialists I talk to, they don't wanna live in Finland. They wanna leave Finland.
yeah,
Some just wanna get the citizenship and just then leave Finland. So in that case, they go and study Swedish, pass the test, and get the papers and fly away. So it's even like weird to ask them to put any effort in studying Finnish. But if you have a family here, if you have kids here, and they go to a Finnish-speaking kindergarten, you might want to get B1 level to just like survive everywhere. Not all the doctors speak English here. So but again, it's so personal. Not everyone has energy and space, especially if you have kids and a job. Try to find at least 1 hour of intense study time. It is not so easy. So we do what we can, all of us, always.
yeah. So
Yes, you
it's
can.
basically up to us to learn it or not.
Yeah. But one thing that I bring up to IT specialists like that is that nothing is permanent in this world. Things change, and it's not a guarantee that your company will be happy and stable. Some, if you work for a startup, some go bankrupt.
Yeah.
And then you are joining the market. And maybe if you are a like senior developer, you will get hired immediately. Nowadays, the situation with middle and lower, like junior developers, is harder, for example. And some of the jobs, they just require you some B2 level of Finnish. So that might help you in your life, just because nothing is permanent.
Yeah, true. And also, a lot of people say that it's easy to learn Swedish if our
Much
internet.
easier. If you speak English, it's much easier to learn Swedish.
Okay. So do you have any friends that tried to like pass Swedish UK test or?
I know people who did that, who passed the test in Swedish just for the sake of getting citizenship.
Okay. And that's possible, right? I mean,
It is possible, yeah.
okay, so.
It will not be useful because if you are not going to work in those areas,
Yes.
and even in those Swedish areas of Finland, they speak Finnish.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Maybe
you will need both.
just like taking the passport and going to Sweden to work,
Yeah,
which is
which
not
is a
a
little
good
bit
idea.
like, what do you feel about that? Is it, I had a discussion about that.
Hmm.
Everyone was so angry about new rules of the citizenship application.
Hmm.
And at first, I was also a bit confused. And why do they want to make it so difficult? But then, if you really think about that, if you want to live your life in Finland, of course you will wait for 8 years.
Yeah.
But if you came here as an IT specialist and you just want to get citizenship and leave,
Hmm.
then Finland does a good thing of keeping a little bit of a longer period.
Yeah, in a way, that's like a really good idea to keep people, like,
Yeah,
especially many people that I saw
yeah,
apply for permanent residence and then like, come and go and or get a citizenship and then go go back,
yeah,
coming back. So
yes,
that's something they are trying to solve. But I guess the only problem people were like complaining or kind of sad about is this 3 months rule.
yeah.
That's kind
This
of
is,
something because at least in Finland market there
it's impossible.
person like 8 months of unemployment. That's
Yeah.
common, even based on statistics.
Um, how many months did you say?
8 months. On
14
average.
now.
14? Okay, okay. I was
Yes.
checking statistics
Yeah,
last and it was mentioned. Okay.
yeah. It
So
is like for Finns and foreigners together,
hmm,
they are members of TE-toimisto for 14 months before they either land a job or go to study.
okay.
So it's not even a guarantee. I mean, not everyone joins the TE-toimisto to get the payment. Some just go and find a work. But it's something that like we can keep in mind. It takes a lot of time to find a job. And the 3 months rule, I sometimes think that it might have been a tactic,
Hmm.
when you are negotiating with someone and
Yeah,
you want this A part so much that you offer a B part that is ridiculous.
yeah.
That people will argue about this B part so much that they will forget about the A part. And then at the end, you will say, okay, we will drop this, but you will get approved what you wanted to be approved at the first place.
Hmm.
Maybe that was a tactic, I don't know, because logically speaking, it's not possible. I have a friend or an acquaintance who studied design in Aalto University, and it was so hard to get a job after. And after getting a job, still you might lose it. And then in 3 months, it's just Finland will lose a person they educated.
Hmm. Yeah.
So in Germany, I think with a at least if you come here to Germany with a specialist visa, it's half a year
Okay.
to look for a job. Even half a year is a bit too little. I think it's 1 year is more realistic.
Oh, yeah, more.
Maybe they wanted,
If it is summertime, people will be in the vacation at least for
yeah,
months or even 1 month. They won't be working really.
right.
Yeah,
That's true.
so and in the winter time, a lot of people get fired. So
Yeah,
technically and logistically, it's not really
yeah.
initiative. At least that's what I feel.
I have the feeling what will happen is if someone loses a job, an office type of well-paid job, they'll just go and find any job as a cleaner, for
Hmm.
example, and which I understand completely. Many do that
Yeah,
just to stay in the country.
because I met with a international student and he came here by spending like 35,000 euros in total for 3 years of bachelor's degree plus living expenses. And then after that he was in study like looking for a job visa, and he got a job and he got fired. And his residence permit was to be renewed in 2 months, and in the 2 months if he finds the job, it's okay, it's get renewed, or else the chance of getting renewed is really low. So he already used his job searching period. So it's really kind of tough situation. So he ended up
It
joining
is.
Leo Clean company as a cleaner.
Yes, I understand. Many do that. Many people with PhDs. working cleaning in Finland. It was one of the biggest shocks that I had, because in my country it doesn't happen like that,
Yeah,
of
at least
course.
they would be in a lecturer position easily.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you can teach people. So
yeah. But at least there are those cleaning jobs as an opportunity, because some
yeah,
people just need to feed their families and they just cannot like survive
true.
otherwise. So I'm very happy that at least that exists.
Yeah, even with a lot of savings, it's really hard. Let's say hardly we can save 5,000 euros per year, at least like based on average salary. So
Mm-hmm.
with 5,000, it's like we can hardly survive for 2 to 3 months.
Yes, I
The
know.
rent itself is like 1,000 euros every month.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
yeah. Do you also have something to share more, or something or some tips for people who want to get a Finnish citizenship?
Mm, maybe we got into the icky part, because one thing that people might not be prepared for is that there are a few places that run the test, and there are too many people who want to get a spot. So for you to get a spot, it will be a challenge. Sometimes they are booked out in seconds.
Okay.
So you need to put an alarm and sit preferably with your friend who is connected through, I don't know, mobile phone, and updating the page like all the time to try to get a spot.
Okay. But like there are many municipalities even around Helsinki area. Maybe.
In Uusimaa, it's getting booked out immediately,
Okay.
but you can still travel somewhere else, of course. If you want to pass it in some other city, you can do that.
Hmm.
Another thing that you might want to consider is that testing centers are very different. In
Okay.
some centers, uh, it's not well organized, or there are too many students that it's hard to organize it well. And you are already stressed out about the test.
Yeah.
And there is this extra worry from things like things are not working fast enough, or it's too loud. There are some centers where it's less loud. So that's something you might want to study as well. And maybe one last thing about Uki. When I passed it, there was one challenge I didn't understand, is with the speaking part. It is happening in a studio where you have, for example, a microphone and earphones. But what no one prepared me for is that it's a classroom where everyone sits and
Okay.
everyone talks at the same time. There might be a small cupboard thing between, but it's not helping you. And
Okay. So it
everyone
would be
talks
distracted.
at the same time. And you cannot, I couldn't focus on the first questions at all, because all I heard was my neighbors and everyone else speaking. So I think I got 3 only because of that, because my speaking was very well back then.
Hmm.
So this is something you need to consider and mentally prepare for that.
Yeah, I guess even it is mentioned that like we'll be in a separate section and speaking with at least in IELTS it's like that. We'll go to a room with just one
Yeah.
person
In
and
ours, it's not a problem. I took it as well.
yeah,
I got 7.5 many years ago.
yeah, it's kind of easy and simple way for IELTS. It's kind of well organized, maybe because and
And
I
IELTS
was the
speaking
same.
is with a person.
Yes, with a person.
In Finland, no.
Okay, and still they're charging the same amount. So maybe
Hmm.
I mean that's
I think it's no, IELTS was quite expensive when I passed it. It might be more expensive than the Finnish test, actually.
because now it costs I guess 180 euros for UK test.
Oh, UK test. And what about IELTS?
IELTS maybe 220 euros.
Yeah.
Last time when I checked
Okay.
years ago. So
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. Hmm.
And
Right.
also, can people contact you for getting these tips or like one
Yes,
session?
definitely. The best way to contact me is on Instagram or LinkedIn.
Hmm. Okay.
It might take time for me to answer because I
Yeah.
get many messages, but I try to answer to everyone. You can remind about yourself, like if I don't answer in 1 2 days.
Hmm. Yeah, of course, a lot of people will be having questions. And at first, I know you as like, you used to make some TikTok videos saying like where to travel in this week, like
Mm,
posting cheap area. And
mm,
I kind of I like the content because we can't go and check Skyscanner every day. So it
yeah.
and you used to post lot about events happening around Helsinki.
Yes, I
Kind
used
of
to do this weekly digest with everything,
exactly.
events and flights.
I really love that content. It's really helpful and informative.
Yes, thank you for bringing it up. I used to do that. I just had no time to continue
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, it takes some research and
Mm,
time to post them, of course, asking. So let's do. Thank you so much, Lidia, for sharing all
thank
the
you.
information. A lot of people will be benefited through this episode.
Yeah, thank you for organizing it and have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much.